Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Adam and welcome back to another little Let's Play. We're going to try something new here, everybody. This is a game called StoneHearth. Now, I had already tried to record a first take on this thing, as you can kind of see by the whole Settlement of Otterton deal going on here. But I failed to record my voice when I was doing this, not because I didn't have a mic, but because it was super early on the morning during the weekend like I usually tend to play. And to be fair, I just thought I could do a voiceover. Well, that actually ended up being a much more tedious and daunting task than I thought. And so here we are. And, let me one second as I'm doing some changes here. What we pretty much ended up doing, or what I ended up doing, I guess, is let me turn up the volume on the little desktop there, see if it works. At least to get a little bit of something. There you go, you're getting some now. What we're going to do is we're going to hop into a new game, new single player, and we're going to kind of take it from the start. So, StoneHearth was a game that actually came through via Kickstarter. It's put on by Radiant Entertainment, and these guys started out as a brother kind of duo for a bit there, then they hired on some more folks, some community managers and all that stuff, and I have to admit, it was a great game. I didn't get very far into the beta, or the alpha even, whenever it was first coming through, but I want to give it more of a detailed shot, because I feel like this is actually a really good game to play. So it's a voxel-based game. Think of it a little bit like Minecraft, with a lot more RPG and a lot more controlling over that. So we're actually going to go into it real quick, and we're going to kind of walk through and talk about what we're doing and all that fun stuff. We'll see if see how the series does, but I plan on making this a small series, even if I don't release one, but one a month or so. But we're going to try to do this here. Alright, so during the betas, it was mostly just the Ascendancy and Rise Children. The Northern Alliance is one that I had wanted to play for a little bit and put them in a location. You can choose where they go. They do have strengths in different biomes, if you will, and there's going to be 3 biomes that we can choose from. So we have the Temperate, we have the Desert, and we have the Arctic. Now the Northern Alliance do enjoy the Arctic, or I think it's called the Valkyrie Tundra, as it should be. But you can also see right here next to it that this is their favored climate, so we're going to go ahead and select that. And yes, Valkyrie Tundra, good. I'm not going to do peaceful, I don't want sandbox mode, I want to do, not going to be able to do hard because I'm not that great at combat, but we're just going to do normal, where we come across typical beasts and all that fun stuff. So what you do is you get presented with your first 5, as they call them, Hearthlings. Hearthlings are kind of like your Sims, your starter folks. You can change their appearance if you wish to, or you can actually do a reroll for the citizens, or if you want to just reroll the stats on one of them, you can do that as well. I like to reroll a couple of times to see what we can get. You want, obviously, the higher the numbers in each of the categories, the better off they're going to be, or more versatile to use for anywhere. So we're just going to kind of reroll a couple of times here, see what we get. That's not horrible, but not terribly great. 2 mind, 6 body, 3 spirit for Ulvi, I guess? Ooh, Magnus. Oh, I can't, I don't know if I can lock him. I can lock him. I'm going to lock this guy. Magnus is locked in. Just because of the name and because of the adventure zone, why not? Go and reroll the rest. Let's see here. These look pretty good, actually. These look much better. George Gunnar, Ken Starvommer, Sven Vork, and Rowan Icewolf. So we're going to go ahead and just do that. We're going to keep these guys as they are. I don't really think... Yep, we got a bearded dude. I'm going to change him a little bit. What we're going to do is we are going to change him to have just a simple straight up mohawk. Because why not? So we're going to accept the roster, and what it's going to do, it's going to bring up now the starting resources that you can choose if you want them to be hunters. Because you can have 2 archers, a cook, you'll get some jerky, some gold. Or an archer, a trapper, an herbalist, potatoes and gold. Or if you do food for days, that's a trapper, a cook, potatoes, carrots, jerky, and gold. Or you can do a weaver, potatoes, jerky, and gold for the money solves all problems. Now here's, you can see quite a bit of money goes into that. The first time I did it, I actually did this guy, was food for days, because you want to be able to start having food sources right away. The trapper can start doing that. The cook can also start cooking things that the trapper does. And then eventually you can get yourself mason and all that good stuff. And I think... you may start with a mason now that I think about it, but it doesn't really matter. Either way, the archer is going to be good for defense, but you can also have all your hearthlings kind of defend your town. So we're going to stick to food for days, because I kind of want to go that route. Here it's going to load up the map after it generates a seed. As you can see, there's the seed. And then on the right hand side here, we're going to have trees and plants, wildlife and minerals. The goal is to kind of get those somewhat evenly distributed so you have access to minerals, wildlife, and to trees, because you're going to need all of those in order to actually kind of be successful in this. So right about here at the foothills, you also have access to water eventually. I don't know if you really need that or not, because I, again, haven't played that deep. So 3 of each, I'm going to go ahead and select that, and we're going to go settle here. Now, it's going to generate the world. So after it loads, there we go, good. We are now in the world. So controls are fairly easy, as you would expect them to kind of be for this. You can use the WSAD to kind of do those pans. You can use Q and E to rotate this way, or if you were to right-click, now I'm making myself a liar. If you want to right-click, you can actually do like a free mode kind of a thing. If you left-click, that's how you're going to select some things. And then pan, or I should say zoom, is going to be on your middle mouse wheel. So we have found ourselves at the foothills of what looks like a nice little hill here. I'm going to actually probably settle them right in this little nook. So when we do this, we're going to place the banner. The banner, when we place it, as you can kind of see here, is going to show up all of a sudden with a fire pit, and then all of your hearthlings kind of surrounding it. You're going to want to clear the area, and we'll show you how to do that. There. So there they all are. Now, looks like we actually have, yep, there's the cooks, and it looks like we did get Mason's Chisel, which we'll do that here before too long. But what we're going to do, we're going to go through the little menu down here that you see as far as your actual little UI. So, first thing, town info. What you're going to do is you're going to get a daily report. You want to have gold and food that match the goal, and then you're going to get a new Hearthling. This is going to be for your actual Hearthlings list. You can see what they're actually kind of working on. Their activity shows here. You can also choose if they do only hauling, building, mining, or all of them, and then whenever they get assigned a job like the Mason, the Trapper, or the Cook, you're going to actually see that show up here, and you can have it to where they only and solely do that job, if you wish. Don't necessarily need to, but that's okay. You can also pause or resume certain types of work if you want to, and just be a temporary thing. We're going to do buildings eventually, and as you can see, got to close that guy. If you would like to, you can actually create your own via these tools down here at the bottom, or if you genuinely would like to, you can either save a building, you can save it so you can use it as a future template later, or you can do this and use template buildings, which we will get to once we actually kind of get to a point of being able to build. Placing is for objects in the world. If you have an object to place, it'll show up in this list. If not, obviously you won't have one. And then you have ladders. They construct ladders to change their different levels. So in order to get to up, nope, not that at all. If you wanted to get up to here, right, I would actually have to place a ladder there. We'll get to this in a second. This is going to be your harvest menu. This is going to be for harvesting or gathering trees for making a mine tunnel that's 4x4. And then this one's going to be for custom mine blocks. So if you have specific mines that you want to cut out, you can. This is to cancel a mine quest or request, or any other request for that matter. Whenever you kill any kind of enemy or whatever the case may be, you can get loot. Loot is going to be good for just whatever. And then this is going to be to destroy an item in the world where you don't get the benefit. Designated zones, this is going to be a big one. So we're going to start up with a stockpile, because we're going to want to have everything kind of neatly, I guess you could say, placed, right? So we're going to start with a fairly decent one. We'll just start it with, I guess, we'll just do 9x13. You select what all you would like to go into it. You can do resources, construction, tools and goods, food and drink, wealth. You can also deselect each of the individual objects in between there. So if I only wanted gold chests to go into that area, I could, but I don't. Once I click OK, they, as you can see, are going to start picking stuff up, and they're going to start placing it in the world. Now, crafters. This is going to come into play whenever we actually get our jobs assigned, which we'll get to eventually. Fight and defend. When you click this guy, right, you have the ability to fight and defend. Town alert mode means everybody is going to gather around the hearth here, or your hearth, your banner or whatever, and they're going to defend themselves. Whenever you are done with the attack, or you think that you've got it clear, you're going to go ahead and click the next to it. This, you can do combat parties assigned, where there's specific people that go off and do things, but we'll get to that maybe soon. After you get out of town alert mode, I'll go ahead and just click it for now. There. All of them are going to return to town hearth, and whenever you're done, it now will double ding, and that means they're going to go back about their business. Multiplayer menu, it does support multiplayer if you would like to. I have not dabbled with this yet. I know that this was a big feature that they were featuring prior to the launch, and we will get to that at some point in time. But first, let's go ahead. While these guys are going to do a bunch of tree harvesting. I mean like a bunch of tree harvesting. Okay, any second there. There we go. So you can see the little icons show up above the actual object that they're going to be working on. I just kind of want to give them a little something to do. Just for the time being. Go ahead and clear this guy out too. It's got to be at the base. It can't be that you're selecting it from the top of the tree, because it seems like that's not it. So once that's actually been harvested, you'll see them kind of disappear. And there's going to be a big old pile of wood. They're going to start grabbing that wood and bringing it over here to the stockpile. And let's see what goes on here. This is going to be basically just the Stoic Scout. What they're doing is they are kind of collecting certain things here. You're going to select a banner type, which we're just going to kind of skip through here. Yep, we shall choose. Yep. So I had already done this before, but I'm just going to kind of rename it something different here. I'm going to choose the banner that we want. So Vitality will give trees produce 25% more wood, plants and crops grow both 25% faster, and plants have 2 times their normal appear. The banner of Strength, mining gives 50% more ore, stone, and clay. Hearthlings no longer mine cramped spaces. And the Cunning, roads give 3 times their normal speed boost, your items sell for 50% more, and traders will bring 2 times the goods and gold. Which is very beneficial, but since I went for more of the farming route, I'm going to go ahead with Banner of Vitality and issue the declaration. And those are the 3 bonuses that come in. Click OK, and that's where we're starting to go with it. Now, since these guys are very much so in the realm or aspect, I could say, of mining, if you will, or I guess Northern Alliance, everything's going to be based around stone. So all of their buildings are going to be based on stone. We're going to need to get them some beds here pretty soon. So what we're going to go ahead and do in episode number 1 is we are going to, see, as you can see, he's trying to call for it. We're going to go ahead and have them mine a tunnel. Now, I don't really care where the tunnel goes, how long it is, or anything to that effect. I just want them to mine stuff again. So we're going to do this and just drag it through. As far as we can really drag it, just to start getting some things. So they're going to go over here. They're actually going to start doing that here very, very quickly. The camera does get a little finicky sometimes. So we have the order of that. It looks like they're going to all start kind of restocking items. They're going to start grabbing all these trees. So we kind of fast forwarded a little bit here. And what we have done is, you can see they're kind of, I don't know what this guy's doing. He's just picking blocks up and dropping them, which, there we go. I guess the effort's kind of appreciated, but you can kind of hardly see it. There's a bunch of these guys here that are actually doing their mining. So you can see the path that they're going to go. And so we can actually zoom up and kind of cut a little bit more away if we wanted to. We can actually make like a little underground base if we really wanted to. We might, at least for the storage room. Just start that there and have them kind of come back around eventually at some point. I don't want them to do that, so I'm going to go ahead and call, oops, hard to see. I believe control, yeah, if you hold down control and you click, it's going to actually remove the work order that you would put in. So we're just going to go ahead and see if we can't kind of keep that going. We're just going to build that out a little bit. As you can see, it's now nighttime. And there we go. What was that? Juniper seed. You have the ability to replant trees in this game, which is actually really nice. But what we're going to do first, I am going to need a trapper. So let's find someone who's going to be good at that. It's going to be somebody who's pretty good with their heart. So somebody who has a 5. We'll use this one. Ken here is going to change jobs, right? And what this does is he's going to then become a trapper. And click to approve. There. Ken is now our trapper. So now what we have, if I go into the professions, nope, not that, in this. Yep, trapper uses zones. So I'm going to go ahead and set up something here. You can only trap bugs when you're a level 1 trapper. I'm going to make the area 30 by 30, which I believe, yeah, we're just going to do 30 by 30 here. There. Going to trap bugs. And then bugs are going to give us a couple of different products here for meat and all that fun stuff. And once we kind of get a little more wealth amassed or accumulated, we will then kind of go about getting a cook or getting other jobs kind of settled and all that fun stuff like that. So we're going to expand our storage space because as you can see, they don't really stack too well. But yeah, so let's see what we got going. So setting traps, good, that's what I wanted to see. He can no longer mine, so as you can see, we traded out his ability to mine with a job, but he'll be kind of dedicated almost exclusively to that. One thing that I just did there again, sometimes the camera gets a little bit crazy if you kind of zoom out or in on a tree. You know, timing just, or not timing, but just the controls kind of go a little bit on the wonky side, but that's, you know, that's okay. There, so they're still making progress on their tunnel, but in order to kind of see the depth that they've done, you can do this, and then we're also going to call in an order to clear those out too. This will probably be our storage space, if you will. You can see then what it'll look like once they're done doing the mine. And we're going to need all that stone and fun stuff for whenever we actually start building a house. But I think we're going to leave it there for this episode. Hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you would like to see me do in the next one. We're going to try to build a house, definitely, and maybe get the cook set up and all that fun stuff, and see if we can't kind of get further down the progression in the trades and whatnot. But thank you guys so much. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and we will talk to you guys later. Thanks, everybody. Bye.